Alrighty, welcome everybody to our October Vmfa meeting. I know we have a lot of new faces in the room, so I'm going to kind of kick us off by just introducing you to the Vmfa for Veterans, Military, and Families Alliance, are a CVEB that serves the Greater Triangle area. Our objectives are to identify gaps, opportunities, and barriers in service to improve service for veterans and military families, coordinate information on services for veterans and their families, and educate veterans, families, and community advocates on community-based efforts and suicide prevention. So welcome. We always like to get started going around the room before we jump into the panel by doing introductions. So please state your name, the organization representing, your military affiliation, and then we're going to do like a little question today. It's going to be, what are you looking forward to this fall? So I'll start. My name is Landry Young. I'm the marketing outreach manager here at the Joel Fund. My husband is calling me. He's my military connection. And what I'm looking forward to is not 100 degrees in the heat.
Okay. Here we go. All right. My name is Ty Hall. I work for VSC, ABCCM. I'm born and raised in North Carolina. Moved back after 6 years in the Army. Did I miss anything?
What are you looking forward to?
Regarding my profession or just
working people, yeah.
Looking forward to onboarding next week in Asheville because they're sending me for like a week, and then I'm going to Asheville for another training the next week. So guess I'm looking forward to that.
That's awesome. Yes.
Colors.
Yeah.
Leaves will change.
Oh, yeah.
My name is Victoria Knott. I'm with Work for Warriors, North Carolina. Was never in the military, but father, brothers, nephews, grandfathers, everybody else but me. Connected to the military. But I've worked with veterans one way or another for about 30 years. I started when I was about 4. And I'm looking forward. I'm with Landry. I'm with the 90s.
Timothy Willett, work for Warriors, retired from the Army last year. And I am looking for fall to be over so I can get the heat.
It just started.
I'm a Florida boy.
You'll get the heat next week.
North Carolina is too cold.
I'm Sandra Wyatt. I work for Warriors North Carolina. I'm a military spouse, and I am looking forward to actually being able to wear a sweater in North Carolina.
Oh, you wear that all the time.
No, I don't.
You're 72, I got a hoodie.
No.
My name is Layla Hainsworth. I'm a college student. I'm here with my mom. I'm here for the cold weather. Michelle Hainsworth. I work with NC Works, Veterans Employment Services. Marine Corps vet, 12 and a half years. Married to a retired Marine. And I'm looking forward to hoodie season. Yes.
Season's all year long.
I'm Tarsha McKoy-Bain. I'm with Wounded Warrior down from Fayetteville. I am looking forward to going to Minnesota next week to the Mall of America.
That's cool.
I want to go with her. Hi, I'm Lori Lawrence. I'm with Veteran Services of the Carolinas with Ty. I am looking forward. Fall is my favorite time of the year. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I'm looking forward to that day.
I love it.
Nice. Aaron Harper, representing your Corps, our Corps, the United States Marine Corps. Happy birthday to the Corps, of course, and happy birthday to Navy yesterday.
Thank you very much.
I work for Veteran Bridge Home in the employer engagement employment space, and looking forward to getting out and doing some more fly fishing with my kids.
Nice.
My name is Brooke Dickhart. I'm the executive director of the Joel Fund. My military connection with my dad was in the Navy. And I love everything about fall, from football to the food to pumpkins, and then getting ready to put my tree up for Christmas. Yesenia?
Hi everyone, Yesenia Craft with Hire Heroes USA. I work with the federal program side of the house, and affiliation, Marine Corps veteran, and mother and aunt and everything else of other military service members, so big military family. And I love fall, but I can't wait to see all the colors of the trees, the yellows, the oranges, and I think that's just beautiful.
I love that. Giselle?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Giselle Curnutt. I'm the Community Engagement Manager for Veterans Bridge Home in the Sand Hills area, and I'm wearing my other hat, which is a military spouse ambassador for ACP. And my husband's currently active duty. He will retire in 2 years, so I'm looking forward to retirement. But I'm also looking forward to the Association of Defense Communities Conference for Military Spouses, which we will be going in 2 weeks to represent Fort Bragg, and just looking forward to support my fellow military spouses as much as I can. Thank you.
Ross?
Hey everybody, I'm Ross Yeager, Director of Wake County Northern Regional Center. My father served and my brother served, but my favorite thing about the fall has got to be Halloween. I just love everything about it, from like the campy 80s movies you can watch on AMC to having trick-or-treaters out in the streets. I just love it.
Ross, is your house all done up for Halloween?
It is.
Yeah.
And I even live in a condo, so. But,
oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
No. Wow. Isabella?
Hey, I'm the Operation Art Program Manager. My name's Isabella. My dad is an Army veteran, and I am looking forward to bonfires this fall.
Lisa?
Hello, everyone. So I'm with the Joel Fund also as the grant writer, and I am an Air Force brat, veteran, retired spouse, mother of active duty service members. It runs deep in my family. So this fall, I'm looking forward to traveling and watching college football.
Thank you. Allie?
Hi, everyone. I'm Allie Anderson. I'm the Community Care Manager here at the Joel Fund. Both my parents served, my sister and my husband are currently serving. We merged between Air Force and Army. And I usually would say I'm looking forward to college football, but my team's not doing too hot this year. So I'm gonna have to just say the cooler weather and hide my face. So
thank you. Jill?
Hi, I'm Jill Blakeney with Mustangs and Patriots Project. I am a veteran, and like a lot of the other folks here, I am looking for cooler weather and less humidity.
Thank you. Brenda?
Brenda and Sam, who's over there, Brubaker. We're both Navy veterans from back in the 70s. And I'm looking forward to anything I can do outside now that the weather is nice. And also, we have just relocated out of the Triangle into a very underserved veteran area of Northampton, Warren, Halifax counties. So we're looking at trying to get some of this stuff transported up there as well.
Love it. Hi, Sam.
He says hi. He's over there.
Thanks, Brenda. David?
Good afternoon, everyone. Dave with NC for me, retired Marine Corps, and we got a new fire pit, but no pun intended, to actually get it fired up and see how it's actually working. So, especially with the cool weather. So excited about that.
Nice. Cynthia?
Hi, I'm with USA Veterans Help. I'm the lead case manager, and we are transitional housing for a homeless veteran. And I'm also a spouse. My husband was in the Marine Corps. What I'm looking for in the fall is just the feel of the fall. I like the going to the football games, homecoming games at North Carolina Central. I also like Halloween. We have a big to do in our neighborhood, and it is just like a parade. We pull our tables to the end of our driveway and kids just walk around. It's like a big old parade, and get their trick or treat candy. I love it. Everybody has their house decorated for Halloweenish, but I have mine decorated for fall. And I also am looking forward to Thanksgiving, just to feel the fall. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Janae, I put her information in the chat. Let's see. Guidance counselor with NC National Guard Education Services Officer or office in a cubicle, so she can only type. Okay, so siblings previously served in the Army. My oldest daughter is currently serving in the Army, and favorite thing about fall is colder weather. I'd rather be cold than hot. I hear you on that. Thank you. Matt, you're up.
Hey, everybody, Matt DeVivo, Reserve Component, Transition Assistance Advisor, and retired Army. I'll be 4 years retired this December. And I'm looking forward to it. It's fire pit season in my neighborhood right off of Hillsborough Street. So we get together, our neighbors, and we have great fire pits. Bring your own beer or bourbon. It's a good old time.
Thank you. You're just in time to introduce yourselves.
My name is Waddell Kemp, and this is my wife Tiffany, and we were boots on the ground catering. You may have heard of this, you may not have heard of this. We're the first in the country. I did 27 years in the Army. I had cancer 2 years ago, and my wife, hold on, she helped me get through it, and the Holy Spirit told her to start Boots on the Ground. And so what Boots on the Ground is, we're an organization that linked to any type of military unit, and we feed them, because that's what I did in the Army. I ran mess halls all throughout the United States and in Germany. So.
Awesome.
Boots on the ground.
Welcome. Very nice. So glad you're here. Perfect timing. I love it.
All right, so just based off everyone in the room can kind of tell that today's topic is employment. Our three panelists today are Erin Harper with BBH, Tarsha McKoy-Bain with Warriors to Work, and Giselle Curnutt with representing ACP today. So I'm gonna let them answer lots of my questions, and then at the end, whenever I ask about gaps and struggles, I think we can kind of open it up to our other representatives from employment agencies or organizations to kind of share your gaps and struggles that you're seeing as well. So that'll be kind of towards the end. So we're going to go ahead and get started with Erin Harper today. Please explain your role within your organization and how you serve veterans with employment.
So if you're not familiar with Veteran Bridge Home, it's more of a holistic approach, which would be the same thing as Veteran Services of the Carolinas, and also Joel Fund. You look at the whole entire vet, meet them where they are, and take care of them the best you possibly can. Connect them to the resources. All of you are potential resources and vice versa. Obviously, employment is big. Our number one request is housing and has been since COVID. Pre-COVID, it was employment. Employment is number two request. So typically, if you're making a housing request, you're usually making an employment request right after that. So my specific focus is on employer engagement. We have other folks that work directly with clients, but we're trying to take care of things upstream. So we'll look at the employers, make sure that they're military veteran friendly, ready, so that when veterans do come out, when I say veterans, that refers to military members, Guard, Reserve, active, transitioning, veteran, and spouses and immediate family members. So we'll address everybody. Doesn't matter what type of discharge that you have either. We'll still work with you. Obviously, there's different benefits. If you have a good conduct versus the big chicken dinner that discharge. So we'll meet everybody where they are, but again, focus really on the employers to make sure that they're good to go. In the Charlotte market, where I'm from, we have about 170 employers that are part of our network. That means that we're communicating with them every month. We're specifically focused on their employee resource groups, keeping them engaged, sending and receiving information back and forth, and clients to their talent acquisition team, being a part of their community service engagement, which is a difference between Veteran Bridge Home and some of the national entities. Nothing wrong with them by any stretch, hiring our heroes and national entities, Hire Heroes USA, and hiring our heroes, national entities, ACP, Fort Block, et cetera. But we're boots on the ground with those organizations, the employers there. So we'll do everything we can to engage with them, make sure that we've got a good relationship. So that way, when veterans are seeking roles or the veterans inside the organizations need support, then we're here for them.
So thank you.
Sure.
All right, Tarsha, same question to you. Am I pronouncing your name right? Okay, perfect. Could you please explain your role with Warriors to Work and the Wounded Warrior Project and how you serve veterans with employment?
So for the program I'm in, what I do is once the warrior transitions from the military, I help with getting that resume from the military to the civilian side. I work with employers to find that warrior that's fit for their position they're hiring for. We also have the family support member. I engage with employers just like Veterans Bridge Home to keep them engaged. We help with interview prep. We do mock interviews. We work with different organizations like Service Source, Deloitte. We build relationships with, I'm from the Fayetteville region, so I work mostly with employers in Fayetteville, the Raleigh area. We help with training resources, NC Works. And then we also have other programs that will get the veteran engaged. We do different couples retreats. So we have a lot of programs that'll just keep them engaged, get them out there, get them prepared for the workforce once they leave the military.
Awesome. And you are a career transition coach?
Yes.
So what does that look like for you?
It's a lot of different hats. So like I said, we work with Deloitte. They come down and do an employment boot camp, which is a 2-day event. And they also help with get them prepared to make that transition into the civilian world. It's a struggle, but it's just getting them prepared. We help them with the salary negotiation, help them to understand their work once they leave the military.
So, okay, thank you. Now I'll pass it over to Giselle Curnutt, representing ACP. She has some slides to share as well. So you can go ahead and take it away, Giselle, to introduce yourself and your organization.
Hi, good afternoon. I don't think I can share the slides, but I can just talk about the program. That's not a problem.
Oh, you can now.
Okay. I promise this will be quick. So, like I said, I am the community engagement manager for Sand Hills with a Veterans Bridge Home. And also I've been with ACP for 4 years as their ambassador. And what we do is basically the same outreach, but ACP mainly focuses on combating underemployment because they offer a 1-year free mentoring program for transitioning soldiers, veterans post 9/11, and active duty spouses. There's other guidelines that I can also share with everyone. I can share the slide as well. So basically, the main goal is for ACP to match the veteran to a mentor based on what the veteran is looking for, based on their skills, their experience. We do anything that the veteran is doing to find employment, networking. It does not, it's not a conflict of interest. The mentors are there just as a support system for a year. There's a structured mentoring program that, it can start with the reviewing the resume or the social media presence, how they're using their LinkedIn, what are they doing to network. The mentors usually can provide, open their own network for the veteran or the spouse to start networking with people in their industries. Let me see. Why is that moving? And like I said, it's a 1-to-1 customized mentoring program. The mentor does not change for a year. So once they're paired with the mentor, that person's going to be with them throughout the year, helping them with, interview skills, if they need to practice, if they have any questions. It's once a month for an hour. That's the minimum they can meet with the mentor, but that can change depending on the relationship that is built. And these are some of the companies that provide mentors. They're corporate partners. They're over 100 different industries. Of course, there's other types of mentors that come from the public sector as well. But it all depends on what the veteran or the spouse is looking for. You know, if they want to work in the healthcare industry or logistics, or we also have a new program for them, for a veteran or spouse that wants to open their own business, so they can enroll and have a mentor to help them go through the whole process of opening their business and all of that. And these are just some of the things that the mentors can help with, especially for veterans. You know, help them decide a career path, or they want to translate the military experience into civilian experience, or they want to learn more about networking with employers outside in their industry. So these are just some of the things that the veterans ask most of the time when they start their mentoring. And ACP does surveys every year to find out what are the needs of the veterans or the spouses that are going through the mentoring program. And these are just metrics of what we've gathered throughout every year. So 56% of the veterans that don't have a mentor, there's a 56% retention rate. But once they get a mentor and they start working with their mentoring program, we found that there's a retention of 80%. And these are, like I said, some of the guidelines of the veterans and spouses that can apply to the program. If you have any questions, of course, I'll provide my email, and anyone can reach me and ask me questions, and I can share this with all of you. And the good thing about the mentoring as well is that once they apply to the mentoring program, they will have an associate that it's gonna check on them every month to see how they're doing with the mentoring. Are they progressing? Do they have any questions? Do they need local resources in the state that they are, or if they're moving to a different state? So they're not just getting the mentor, but they're also getting someone that is, you know, just trying to make sure that every month they're doing okay. And like I said, they have a structured mentoring program or roadmap that can start, you know, with the resume review. It all depends on what stage the veteran or the spouse is. But basically it starts with resume, you know, interview and practice, online presence, and all that good stuff. And, you know, if the goal is to get a job, they're going to focus on that. If the goal is to open their business, they're going to go through that as well. And the website is acp-usa.org, and I can share this QR code. We also have digital flyers that we can share. Whatever you need, we can share. We can brief any of your organizations. I do have a veteran ambassador that he's doing more boots on the ground and going to different organizations, and he can brief. So we're happy to support any of you or any of your veterans or spouses or the military community as well. So that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. Okay. All right, we're gonna circle back with my next question. Erin, I know you kind of touched on this whenever you were introducing Veterans Bridge Home, but could you reiterate who all you serve and what those services look like for like the different groups? And additional question is like, do you serve veterans with maybe a less than honorable discharge as well? Okay.
Yeah. So again, I'm meeting veterans where they are. So active guard, reserve, doesn't matter who reaches out to us, we're going to provide that support. And like I said, number one request is still housing. as our number one, particularly in the Charlotte market where the cost of living has risen pretty dramatically. So you have folks that are veterans or family members, et cetera, that are in their house or apartment or whatever, and then the rates keep going up. So they've been there for a long time, and now they're getting priced out of the place where they've lived for years and years. So then they're reaching out to us for assistance. There is some money that we had available through ARPA, and a couple other programs that was more specific to Mecklenburg County. But if you're in Hanson County or Cabarrus, okay, what are we gonna do? And the only way that we can really take care of people is through partnerships. So organizations like yours, we have to do this together. There's more than enough veterans in North Carolina, 700,000 by whoever's count. Wake County has the highest number of veterans. Mecklenburg County's got number 2. There's 20,000 people leaving active duty service out of North Carolina every year. So there's more than enough people for us to take a look at, take care of. Specific to employment, we created a general persona of the folks that are looking for our support. And that's all managed through Unite Us. So if you're not in Unite Us, feel free to reach out. There's plenty of us here that are inside that network, or NC Service is what it's called. Unite Us is the platform. You can access your data whenever you want to look at it. It's updated by the minute. So when we look at the average client that's coming to us for support, it's an African-American male Army veteran with a service-connected disability, and that is usually a millennial. That's the average number of folks that are come to us. So, and that's 62% of requests that come to us. So if you think about the military, relatively similar to society, 65% Caucasian, but 62% of our requests are coming from African-American. So why is that? There's a challenge there that African-American men particularly are not being prepared for that transition. So we are connected with DoD, VA, state level agencies, other employment agencies to try to address that. Why is this continuing to be an issue? If you look at women in service, 14% are military, 28% of the requests that we get are coming in from women, mostly African-American. And we're happy to help. We do everything we can to provide that level of support. So then we also have the dichotomy of jobs, or you have folks that don't have degrees that are looking for jobs. So, but looking for jobs that are going to be remote. So everybody's asking for remote because they've got a service connected disability. Therefore, I can't be in the office. I can't work at Amazon because I'll hurt myself or whatever. And then you also have a Charlotte market, which is predominantly white collar. Right now, white collar work is going through what they call the Great Stay, or job hugging is another term. So normally in the Charlotte market, they have something called a Tryon shuffle. Tryon is the main street that goes through Charlotte. Somebody go from Bank of America to Wells Fargo to Truist and back and forth, chasing the quarter, or the dime, or the promotion, whatever it is. Well, over this last year, with questions about economic uncertainty, even though stock market's at an all-time high, people are still holding on to their positions. And what we see is hiring leaders will have a position open, they'll advertise it, the talent acquisition team, recruiters will go through all the steps, 1 interview, 2 interview, 3 interview, ghost. So the company is ghosting the client, right? And the reason why is that hiring manager wants to hold on to the position and the funding behind it until things calm down. Or if they hire somebody and then they've got to do a cutback, then they're going to have to cut a person. So they would rather cut a position and the funding for it rather than cut a person. So now if you're the vet that's going through all the things and you're getting super excited, you're hitting the 3rd interview, nothing. So that's more on the white collar side. On the blue collar side, we're connecting with staffing agencies because they can get vets jobs pretty quickly. Well, like I said, we'll have to deal with the service connected disability as best we possibly can. When I make recommendations for people to go work at Amazon, they'll say, well, I can't lift a box and do a thing. But Amazon has by far some of the most advanced disability programs in the country. So just because you have a disability, it doesn't matter to them. They'll still try to get you in. They have a military landing page, or if you don't want to do that, you can just sign up for your first shift. It's not an application process. You just sign up for your first shift. So those, like I said, we meet with everybody. There'll still be a challenge for military spouses. easier for us to knock on the door and say, we've got a vet or a military transitioning service member. But when you get into the spouse space, that gets a little bit more challenging. That's where it's awesome having Giselle on our team. Because she's representing military spouses. The Hiring Our Heroes program has a military spouse. Hire Heroes USA has a military spouse program. So we try to leverage all those programs to make sure that our military spouses are taken care of in all the markets that we do serve. And then partnerships with MSEC is another program, military spouse employment program. So takes a village. It really does take a village.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Very
But
interesting. Very interesting.
that's what the Marines bring to this.
Okay, Tarsha, the same question to you. Could you just kind of cover everybody that is that you serve with your program?
So any veteran, post 9/11, I service them and the family support member. They have up to 3 family support members on their case, and I provide service to them. We all over the world, I'm working with warriors now in Germany, so we cover all over the world. We have Alaska, we have Canada, so anywhere, all over the world, we provide services. So
awesome. And when you say veteran, are you including reservists and National Guard
Yes.
as well? Okay, awesome. And they're up to 3 family members?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. That is great. Thank you. And Giselle, I know you had a slide up that shared this information, but I have bad eyesight and I couldn't see it. Could you share with us again who all is available to who all can receive your services?
Sure, yeah, let me just share again.
Everybody's can see it.
So it's mainly transitioning soldiers, post 9/11 veterans, and active duty military spouses. There were some changes because of the grants, and now they're serving spouses of veterans who transitioned off active duty in the past 12 months, surviving spouses of post 9/11 veterans, spouses of severely wounded post 9/11 veterans who are the main financial providers, and service members who served at least 180 days active duty post 9/11 who were also injured while serving.
So that is great. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Alrighty, now the part where we kind of bring in a partnership. Erin, could you tell us how the organizations in this room or that might listen on our YouTube video, how they can refer veterans to your organization and what the protocol is to receive your services?
Sure. But throw this fact out from the last question. If you look at the IRS data from last year, there's 44,000 veteran nonprofits in the United States. 44,000, North Carolina, 4,000. Inside the Unite Us platform, NC Serves, there's 700 entities. Of the 700, there's about 80 or 90 that actively transmit information back and forth from each other. So for us to say that we've got a really good relationship, like say with BSC, they'll send us cases, we'll send them back, you know, in a positive way, not like, I don't want you to keep your case. So BSC might be working with somebody on the Staff Sergeant Fox program, which you're a recipient of as well. They're working with them on some mental health challenges, and then they pass them along to the housing agency at Hire Heroes USA that here in this area. Hire Heroes says, yeah, we're going to work with them on housing and then also employment. Hey, VBH, can you get them connected on the social enrichment networking side so they can pass through? So that network has to exist electronically. HIPAA privacy protected information. There's a clock that's ticking. As soon as a case gets activated and sent, then the network directors in each one of our markets can pay attention to who's got what case, how long have they had the case, are they sending and receiving information about it, how are they processing, how quickly does it take them to process a case. So from an employment standpoint, if you get somebody in the door, wherever they're coming from, have a resume, don't have a resume, it can take several months in order for them to be fully ready to where they're applying. So it's really important that we focus in on that network to be able to take care of each other. And again, we have, I think 11,000 is the last number I saw of unemployed vets. Veteran unemployment is still lower than the national average at 3% per August EOL numbers. In North Carolina, it's 3.7%, which is still a point lower than the rest of the country. So we're doing something right. What I usually share is that 3% or 3.7%, those are veterans that are hard to employ because they got other stuff going on, right? So if somebody comes to me and says, I need employment support because we're a Fox recipient, that means I'm going to screen them, use the Columbia Suicide Risk Screener. So that means you're coming to me saying, hey, I want to get a job at Bank of America, but I can tell that there's some challenges, there's something going on. I'm going to ask you the hard questions. This is a stressful time as you're going through this career transition, challenge, etc. Have you thought about hurting yourself, committing suicide, completing suicide? You have a means to go through those, say, eight questions, 6 questions?
Not eight.
Eight questions. And the person usually respond like, I'm just trying to get a job. Why are you asking me about suicide? Like, I understand, but if I don't ask, then who's just gonna make sure that you're okay? Because it's this hyper stressful period of time. So as far as people coming into our system, we're partnering with Department of Labor Employment Navigator Partnership Program. So similar to Wounded Warrior, there are employment navigators through Department of Labor, CERCO, that handles the contract all around the world. So you could be in Germany, Japan, whatever. You talk to that employment navigator at that location saying, I want to come back to the Carolinas. They can do a direct referral through us. Salesforce is the platform, comes to us. Then we get them into our system, NC Serves, and then we start to work with them. So NC Serves is our primary go-to. And in South Carolina, because we do cover down in South Carolina, they use Combined Arms as their platform. So we have to have dual membership in Combined Arms and in NC Serves. And then the Warrior Alliance out of Atlanta, Georgia, that's another partner of ours. They have a different platform. So that means we have to have membership in their platform. So that means you could be a veteran coming out of Macon, Georgia. Is it Dobbins?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're coming out of Dobbins, but they know that they're going to move to Raleigh. They can get transferred to us. So that way we can keep track of them in our system. So the key thing, especially when we get this question from funders, like a funder will reach out to us and they'll say, hey, we want to put money into an employment program. What do you think we should have as our requirements? And well, number one requirement, make sure that anybody you give that money to is required to be an NC Serves and that they use it and that they report it. And it might be a new thing for you, it might be a challenge to use that network. But if you're not, how do we know that you're really doing the work that you're supposed to be doing? How can we support you being the best that you could possibly be in your network? So if you say you support post 9/11 veterans that are enlisted E3 to E7, you guys know the organization that does that? Next Stop Vets, right? They're focused on manufacturing roles or Heroes Make America. How do we make sure that we're sending clients to you that match those things so that you can be awesome at doing that? And then when you get that veteran that's pre 9/11 with a disability that Next Stop Vets can't touch, then you need to send them back to us so that we can take care of each other. So that way you're not closing the door on somebody. We want to be an open door for all of each other, for everybody here. Long answer, sorry.
No, that was great. Thank you. Over to you, Tarsha. How can we refer veterans to your organization and what's the protocol like for them to receive the services?
You can call them into the resource center. Other ways, we do get resources. We do a lot of transition ready events. We go to the military bases and present the programs there. So we get a lot of resources there, word of mouth from the other programs that we have. They do referrals. Just like you said, you go through one program, like you go through the mental health program. Once they see that you finish the program and you're ready for employment, then they'll refer you over. We have a lot of repeat veterans that come back to the program. Those are different ways. And then other organizations do referrals.
Yeah, okay, perfect, thank you. And Giselle, the same question to you. What's the best way for us to refer veterans your way, and what is the protocol for them to receive your services?
So in North Carolina, as Aaron mentioned, ACP, I made sure that ACP was going to be part of Unitas and NC Serves. So just piggybacking on what Aaron said, we do like the approach of the holistic way of seeing the veteran and the spouse, because yes, they're maybe coming for employment, but they realize that, you know, having the resource of a mentoring program plus working with our employment navigator works out. Or they might need something else. They might need legal aid, or they might need resources for their children. So doing that intake, deep intake and screeners helps us identify exactly what they're looking for. So I know I'm deviating a little bit of the right answer, but I would prefer for them to go through NC Serves or referring it through us in North Carolina. But if they're going outside of North Carolina or they're outside, they can just go to the website acp-usa.org.
You're on mute. No.
You muted.
I'm muted. I was muted this whole
Oh,
time.
You're okay.
You're back now.
We
So,
moved the
yeah.
website, and then.
Yeah, they if it's nationwide, if the veteran is, you know, in the US, they can just go to the website acp-usa.org. If they're in North Carolina, ACP is part of NC Serves. So they can refer the veteran through NC Serves, and we'll do the intake and refer them to ACP as well. Yeah, that's basically, there's different options, but North Carolina, the best way would be through Unitas, and then we'll also take care of any other resources they might need.
Perfect, thank you. So a common theme.
I do one more piggyback too. Just if you're not aware, NC Serves is part of NC Care 360. NC Care 360 is open to anybody. It doesn't matter what your background is, you civilian or whatever. If you're military connected, then usually the NC Care 360 staff will then forward you over to NC Serves, which is VSC. VSC is quarterback. Then depending on the location or the service requested, then VSC can forward to us or any of you all as well. So just something to keep in mind. So if you run across folks that need additional support that are civilians, send them through NC Care 360. They're good. They're not as good as NC Serves, because NC Serves has been around longer.
It's a great point, thank you. So a common theme that we hear often in meetings like this is, you know, not just addressing the single need that veterans come in for. Like you're saying, like they come in for housing, but you need more than just housing. So thank you for Giselle for also bringing that up, is, you know, asking people what else you need or recognizing the other areas that you can assist in. This is the part of the meeting where we kind of jump into gaps and struggles that we're seeing. So I'm gonna allow our panelists to kind of start, and then if you also work for an employment organization, please also feel free to jump in with the gaps and struggles that you're experiencing as well. So Aaron, I'll start with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, you hear one and it's not a bad gap, but so say, for example, ACP or Wounded Warrior or Next Stop Vets, you have to be post 9/11 to receive their services. So if you're working with that veteran or spouse and they come to you and they're looking for that support, you've got to check some blocks too. And you know, there's the Honor Foundation and the SOTA Foundation, SOTA Warrior, Navy SEAL Foundation. There's all these different organizations. Like I said, the 44,000 of the 44,000, 4,000 in North Carolina, 120 say that they do employment related services. So if somebody's coming into you, then you have to figure out how do they line up, right? Because we don't want to make a bad referral, right? So if somebody's pre 9/11, I shouldn't be forwarding to Wounded Warrior Project, right? I know that we have a really good partnership with Work for Warriors, and even though they're guard focused, they'll take whoever, So there's a lot of bounce back and forth between each other because we know that we've got open door. NC Works, same thing. We know that we can send and receive. So that the gap analysis is really figuring out who does what for who. If there's rank involved, if there's branch of service involved, type of discharge involved, you start to make this funnel to figure out who can really help you. And it's really important to know who all is out there and who's available. So like if you go on the Department of Labor EMPP program, Employment Navigator Partnership Program, there's about, I think it's 82 different organizations that are at the national, international, national, and local levels. And you can find out who does what in employment space. So that sort of helps because they do put some qualifiers in there. But I think that biggest gap analysis that you have is what gaps do we have within our network and how do we take care of somebody as quickly as possible? You know, so in small world, Victoria and I used to work for the Department of Labor in apprenticeship and training. Now the apprenticeship and training is with the North Carolina Community College System, which she and I used to work together in that space. And there are some qualifiers in there as well. You can do apprenticeship. You can collect your GI Bill while you're doing the apprenticeship program or OJT. Unless you don't have any GI Bill, you can still do the apprenticeship program. Right. So you're narrowing that funnel of who can do what for who, when, and for how long.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go ahead and hop to. So Brenda was asking, do any of the programs offer assistance to retired veterans who have discovered the financial need to get another job or are bored and want part-time? So over the age of 65.
Giselle answered.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. With VSC, VDH, we'd be able to provide that level of support. And unfortunately, there are a pretty good chunk of our population or folks that are making those requests are over 65 because they've been out of the workforce for a while. Then they run into the housing challenge. Now they find out that they got to go back to work. Where can a 70-year-old with a service-connected disability go work? So that takes employer relationship partnership.
Brooke, they can also go to their local NC Works office. If they do not qualify to work with we have federally mandated staff that can only work with federally mandated veterans, service connected, Vietnam vet, military spouse. There's a lot of them, but even if they don't qualify to meet with one of our people one-on-one, NC Works system has a older workers program where they help place 55 and up, I think, into employment.
Thank you. Thank you.
55.
Yes, 55. You know, the VA considers you an older vet than 50.
Oh,
yes.
Man.
My husband just
Elderly. Fall into the elderly.
Really?
Like to stay advanced in age.
Yeah.
I said, advanced.
That's it. I mean, you're in the cookie space.
Seasoning.
I like that. That's funny.
Flavorful.
Okay, Tarsha, what are some of the gaps or struggles that you've identified?
Finding employment for the warriors.
Is it a certain demographic?
Pay range.
Pay range, okay.
Good point,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
So that's the expectation thing, right? So,
What does that mean?
so if you come out of service, like for whatever reason, I got a batch of colonels and captains, so 06s that just came out and they're like, help. All right, so. Everything all right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I use my wife as an example. So she got out of the Army National Guard, retired as a colonel. Her last brigade command, she had 1,200 troops, right? So if she wants to make a direct transition into the corporate space, she should be in charge of 1,200 people at Bank of America, right? Right. Come on in as an individual contributor and then you work your way up the ranks pretty quickly because you know how to make decisions. So it's the level setting of expectations for typically senior enlisted and field grade officers. That's usually the biggest challenge.
So how do you overcome that?
I was an E5 in the Marine Corps. So when I'm working with these colonels, captains, I actually have a cabal of colonels and captains that have made the transition. And then I'll connect them into that network to say, hey, guys, girls, talk to this guy that's coming out. Level set expectations with them. Tell them that it's gonna be hard. If you're expecting to come out and be in charge of 1,000 people at Bank of America, it ain't happening. Unless you're going into DoD or something that's hyper specific to your MOS, where you know people, then you just have to eat some humble pie, come out slowly, make that transition and work that way out. And it's, we know what a colonel or a sergeant major or chief is capable of doing. We know that they could lead 1,200 people at Bank of America, no problem. But if you turn the page on that, so you say, hey, Colonel, you expect to be an executive vice president at Bank of America, right? Yes, I expect that. Okay. All right, I want to take the executive vice president. I want to make him a brigade commander in the Army. Is that okay? No, you can't do that. Okay, it's the same, this is the same saying, you gotta have that level set of expectations.
I have a question about that. So we know that they have these transitional programs in the military for enlisted coming out. Do they have those transitional programs for officers?
They do.
They do?
Depending on what range, what their pay grade is. A lot of times you'll see lieutenant colonels, commanders sitting side by side with an E4, and that's totally different. They're totally different. Somebody that served 4 years compared to 20 plus years, that's not the right lineup for them. You're gonna give different advice to those different groups. And I think, back to that question too, like if you've done a recruit military event, you have to populate information into the recruit military portal to say, I'm a candidate. Here's what I'm looking for. So you get an E3, E4 that's coming out of service and they're saying, I expect to make $100,000 a year. You're like, really? Well, look at all my BAH and my sustenance, and you add all that up together, maybe it gets close to 100,000, and then they expect to be paid that. Well, your current employer, Bank of America or Truist or whoever, pick the employer, they don't pay housing. So knock that part of the payoff. You're gonna have to figure this out with where you came out of service, which is probably in the $40,000 a year range if you're lucky. So don't come out and expect that you're gonna make $100,000 a year.
Yeah, that's how you have to break it down to them.
You do.
I have a kind of specific question. So with being in the Fayetteville area, the last I heard was that the Fayetteville salary was like an average of 40,000. Is that one of the issues in that specific area, is just the salary being so low? Average, okay. Are you referring people like out to like the Triangle area, or beyond? Okay. That's why the traffic's.
Your fault, it's Fayetteville's fault.
No, I mean, I'm here, I live in Fayetteville and I'm up here, so.
Yeah, like one of them, you have to tell them you got to subtract the house, then you got to subtract the insurance, and then you're not gonna make that. And sometimes they turn down jobs because of that.
And look at the sectors too, the industries or sectors that are in each one of the markets. So if you look at Fayetteville, beyond military, it's manufacturing and healthcare and government. Those are your top three. If you move up a little bit to the north, you get into the Triangle market, you have healthcare, education, government as well. So if you're trying to make big money in banking, don't go to either of those places. You got to come to Charlotte. You have to adjust yourself. And if you want to get into advanced manufacturing, go to the Triangle, right?
All right, Allie's had her hand up for a long time. We'll let her have her turn now. Sorry, Allie.
Sorry.
Thank you. I know we've kind of glossed around, a similar type of question, but checking back in, the cases that I've worked in the last 2 years, a majority of the veterans that are coming through that are looking for any type of assistance, be it housing, employment, education, whatever, are typically pre 9/11, non-combat, low or no disability rating, and no combat experience. So what services do the panelist organization specifically? I hear a lot more about the post 9/11, the combat experience, the usually 50% or higher service connected disability rating. There are so many resources available to that population, and for good reason. I mean, they're a very relevant population to be working with right now. But what about, this sort of forgotten population of the pre 9/11 non-combat, low or no disability rating, and other than honorable service?
Wide open, we'll take whoever. Same thing with VSC, NC Works, you'll still work with whoever. Work for it, you don't have any parameters like.
Yeah, work for Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send them our way electronically. Don't email. But
No, I'm gonna drop your home address specifically and tell them to show up at 2 o'clock in the morning and that you love it when they ring the doorbell multiple times.
I know that Victoria knows my wife. Don't do that. My wife, she'll be right there ready to handle that probably.
All right, we'll let Yesenia has her hand up and then we'll finish with hearing out Giselle's gaps and struggles that she's seen. Yesenia, you can go ahead.
Hi, everyone. So I'm just going to piggyback with Giselle and Aaron and then the other lady that also works on employment. I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. But I work with Hire Heroes USA, which is national, and we work really closely with those organizations, with NC Works, ACP, and so forth. And like Aaron said, it is a funnel that we go through. But also know that there are organizations like Hire Heroes USA, not just them specifically, but I gotta throw that out there because I work with them. For federal employment, because we're right now focusing also on local employment opportunities, but we also, as Hire Heroes USA, we do also federal. So that's what I specifically do. So, and we do service everyone, regardless, active duty, National Guard, military service members. If you were over 65, if you just want to get another promotion or don't like the current job and you're a veteran, that's what we do. And that's why we're national also, and our I guess clientele is a little bit more broader. So just wanted to throw that out there. We also have a small team that does federal employment, especially now that everybody wants to transition to the 2-page new standard. So we understand how the hiring eligibilities, veteran preference, how to negotiate on the federal side as well. So not just the civilian.
Thank you. And in my follow-up email, I'll include everyone's emails along with their organization. So if you want to reach out to anybody that was here today, you'll have those resources.
And can you grab the information on the chat?
Yes, I'll have that too.
Thank you.
All right, now,
Real quick, when we were talking about the gaps and different resources and stuff, there was, when I was at the vet committee meeting a couple months ago, they gave a presentation on this app. It's My Vet Benefits. And you can filter it down for the state, for what state you're on, what you're looking for. Do you want a government resource, a non-government resource? Do you need family benefits, education and employment, financial, health and wellness, all of that? And it's all in this, and and if you're on there and you see something that's not accurate, you can email them and they will email you back right away, and we'll fix it.
Is that a VA?
It's not VA, it's a vet. I think he was an Air Force vet. He did it because a friend of his died and the wife was having problems getting her benefits. So this is how he started it. That's why he started it. It's My Vet Benefits.
That's very cool. Yeah.
What education benefits are offered to the members you all assist?
Education is a pillar for us. So we have 6 pillars: housing, education, employment, benefits, mental health, education benefits as well. So we've got folks on staff that will, again, not speaking for VSC, but it would do the same thing for them, where they've got folks that are focused on that. Typically, we won't have the education benefits, but we'll connect them to the organizations that do have those resources, whether it's VRNE or county resources, et cetera.
Yeah, NC serves.
There you go. NC serves, put it to work.
Yeah. All right, I'll let Giselle finish up by sharing any other gaps or struggles that you've seen, or just anything else to add to what we were just talking about.
Well, I'm very, very passionate about military spouses employment. So I guess the gap that I'm seeing, it's also for veterans, it's underemployment. It's not finding a meaningful career. And it was my story when I became a military spouse, trying to, you know, look for a part-time, look for a volunteer, look for two part-times. And I can speak for the spouses, where, we have so many skills, resiliency, adaptability. Obviously, every situation is different. I was in Fayetteville, and the sectors, and like Aaron said, they're different. So we have to adapt, but there's also the childcare, resources. There's not a lot of childcare resources. And the same as, transferable certifications or national licensing. So basically it's finding not just employment, but finding the right employment. And that's something that we're working on heavily through mentoring, ACP, like I said, with VVH, just seeing the veteran and the spouse in a holistic way. What is it that they really need, instead of just giving them a million resources for them to figure it out. So yeah, that's one of the big ones that I see for our community.
I've lived that before, so I hear you.
There's a LinkedIn opportunity report that was published in November 2023, where they did a full bore analysis of 2 million accounts on LinkedIn that were military veteran connected. And the number that they came up with, I think it was 36% of veterans consider themselves to be underemployed. So say you're talking about that colonel that's now an individual contributor, they're underemployed. Some of it's feeling based though. Right? So I feel like I'm underemployed. I should be making $7 a year. I should be the CEO, but some of it's just a feeling. But then there's some reality check in there too, that it's frustrating. The only solution to that is networking. It ain't gonna happen through applications. You gotta network.
Who you know, yeah. Great. All right, so that kind of concludes the formal meeting. We can kind of just share any updates or new events that are going on. I'll include them in our follow-up email. Like we mentioned earlier, we're hosting a recon this Saturday. It's focusing on supportive services. So it's kind of a broad topic. So we'll have a good range of people there. Registration's almost at max capacity right now, so we're not gonna be marketing it right now, but that's coming up. Also, the Operation Arts 4th annual North Carolina Veteran Art Show is doing a call for art that ends this Friday. So if you know any veteran artists from around the entire state, please encourage them to submit some artwork to the show. It can be any medium. It can be 2D, 3D, stories, music. Food art, Isabella. We have food art. I don't know. If I can taste test it, we can have food art. It's cool. But yes, ends this Friday at 12 p.m. So I'll share that. Any other news, updates, events?
I have a list of them I can go to.
Okay. You can also email it to me if that's easier.
I'm gonna email it to you. I have a list of them for Employee Vet Week, which is the week of Veterans Day. That whole week is all kinds of events going on.
It's awesome. Yeah, I share that.
Thank for us. Lots of stuff coming up.
Anything from online? Anything that was dropped in the chat?
There was a comment that Allie made. Banking jobs feel safe or feel fake. Feel safe at the same time. And I was just talking to a 75th Ranger Regiment guy today. Got out, saw the allure of banking and the big money. And he got into it and he's like, what the heck did I do? I've got an MBA for nothing. And he wants out. He wants out as quickly as he can. So, but in we have a colonel conversation or a field grade officer conversation next week. It's like, you retired. Do you need that extra paycheck? What are you most passionate about? Do that. Don't hop into a banking, corporate, whatever type of job. Do something that you're gonna enjoy, because otherwise you'll wind up job hopping and it's not good. So.
100%. My husband is a former Ranger as well before he switched over to aviation. And I can tell you right now that he would hate a banking job very, very, very much. So.
Period. And there's plenty that enjoy it. The Bank of America, I think they've got something like 15 or 20,000 vets that work for them. So there's plenty that like it, but you can like the corporate job, you can like the corporate check. And if you don't like the corporate feeling, then make sure you're involved in a other network outside of the job where you're volunteering with a vet group or art or whatever it is. Find your other passion outside the job, keep your paycheck, go find your passion in the outside.
That's great. Okay, well, we will wrap up the official meeting and say goodbye to our virtual friends.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming to our October meeting. Our next Vmfa meeting will be a little different. It's not the second Tuesday in November because that is Veterans Day. It'll be November 18th and the topic is benefits. So we'll see y'all again.
Thank you.
For the Navy Marine Fighter Attack Squadron meeting.
Yes, exactly.